All right then, so we successfully added all the necessary products into our site over here. So you can see we have all the necessary products, and if you can able to update any specific product just by clicking over here. That will going to list out everything over here, and you can able to update any fields over here just by switching between. For instance, if this medium and I can change it to small, I can simply click save changes, and there we go. So you can see it is successfully changed to small, right? And if I wish to search for instance, let's search for monster drink. So here we go. So if you search, you can simply search, so everything is working fine, right? So actually I forgot to mention that, so few of the fields over here, it's need to be optional, like size, cuisine, kitchen, and these three fields need to be optional. In order to do that, all you have to do is to just remove this minimum and change those field into optional. So if you make it minimum, that means it is a required field, so you should change it and you should keep it as an optional, right? So if you make all these things for fruits and for drinks and all those things, we don't need to add these stuffs. So you can simply make those fields as an optional. So we successfully finished the product screen. So let's next move on to the order screen. If you have a look at the orders screen over here, so we are just displaying the data, nothing else we are displaying over underneath it, right? So we just have to display the necessary informations. So in order to bring that, I'm just going to close everything, close all, and I'm going to collapse everything. So first, as usual, let's type the types, open the types.db, and of course over here we have to create ourselves a custom types. So let's create a custom types for our order. So export interface order, open it. So id, of course, it is going to be a string. Then we need to have the status, whether it is paid or not. So is paid, it's going to be a string. Then we need to have the phone contact number at the order placed by which user. Then of course we need to have the list of order items. So order items, which is going to be the list, the order items, it's going to be the type of the product. So it is going to be the product type, and it should be an array of it. Then address, we need to have the address, which is going to be a string. Then we need to have the list of created options and everything. So tonight, right, so we have all these things, and then we need to have one more thing, which is going to be the order status, what status it is going to be. So that is also going to be a string, and let's copy these two and let's paste it over here. That's it. So we finished our orders dot types, and let's go ahead and start working on the orders. So let's me bring the main nav, and in that all we have to do is to copy this and paste it over here. Instead of products, I'm going to change everything into orders. So this is going to be orders caps. All right, so now we should be able to see the orders. So before clicking that, all I have to do is to duplicate some stuffs from here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to get into the apps, dashboards, routes, and I'm going to copy the sizes, and I'm going to copy and paste it. And right now I'm going to change this to orders, and inside the orders I'm going to change this to orders id, order id. All right, so now if you click it, it's going to work, but you're going to see exactly the same as sizes. All right then, so now what we have to do is to let's jump into the orders, and here we go. So now we are seeing the sizes and everything. So let me get back to the pages.tsx. Fine, now we are inside the pages.tsx, and here now what I need to do is I need to rename this, and I need to change these to orders page. Fine, and I need to change all these things into orders, and this is not going to be sizes data, this is going to be orders data, and we need to change this sizes, columns, and everything. Fine, and yeah, so let's get into the client now. Let me also, before jumping into the client, let me go to the columns and let me customize the columns of this orders. Okay, so basically in the orders, what we are going to do is we're going to have this following fields. So I'm just going to copy and paste it over here. So you just pass it and type it exactly as it is. So which is going to be ID, phone, address, products, total prices, and images. It's going to be string array, and is paid is going to be boolean, and this is going to be created at, and this is going to be the order status. So please make sure all these fields matches your types.db, just exactly the same thing what we do have over here, right? Everything should matches each other, otherwise we will run into an issue. So instead of sizes column, this is going to be orders columns, right? Save these changes, and of course we need to change these to orders columns over here, right? Save these changes, and of course we will run into issues over here, type error, because we don't have any matching fields over here, right? So now all I have to do is to change all these things. Let me close this. Okay, so items and everything is going to be exactly the same. Let's rename this. So formatted orders items, it's going to be fine. Let's delete this order name and everything. Let me copy and paste it. 1 2 3 4 5 6, something like that. Okay, so this time instead of ID, I'm just going to say is paid, right? It is paid, and this time it is going to be 4. Then this time it is going to be address, and this time this is going to be the products. But the products, of course, it is going to be okay, this is supposed to be the size of it is not going to be the size, it is going to be the orders. That's the reason we are getting that issue over here. Fine, that's good. And the products, of course, what I need to do is I need to map those names over here. So this time instead of product, what I'm going to do in the items.order items, I'm going to have this map, and I'm going to every single item in it. Then I'm going to get the item.name, and I'm going to join that name. Okay, so I'm going to get all those names, then I'm going to join all those names just by using this comma after it, right? Semicolon. Then all after this, I'm going to get the order status, which is going to be the order status. Wait a second, I'm not getting the order status. Why? Order underscore status. Why I am not getting the order status? Copy this. I'm not having the order status. Yes, I do have the order status over there, and I do have the order status. Okay, it's not showing an issue right now. Fine. So let's, okay, fine. Then right after that order status, of course, I need to display the total price. So this total price, basically what we have to do, we have to calculate everything. So I'm just going to use the formatter dot format, open it, enter. Then I'm just going to say orders dot order items dot order items dot reduce. Use the, instead of map, we're going to use the reduce. Then I'm going to get the total, and along with that I'm going to get the item. So total is just a local variable inside the reduce. Here if we do have the item, and we do have the item dot quantity. If we have that item dot quantity, then if it is not equals to undefined, that means we have something inside in it. In that case, I just need to return the total plus I need to convert that number, and I need to find item dot price, and I need to multiply it with quantity, because user can choose the same product more than one. The quantity might be 1 or 2 or something else, right? So we need to calculate that. Then we need to add it with the total, and at the end, if we don't have anything, I just have to return the total as 0. Return the total. If we don't even have anything else, I just need to return it as 0. This is how it's supposed to be, right? So right after here, I'm gonna say images, which is going to be item dot order items dot map, open it. Then we can get the item. Then I'm going to return items dot images, and I'm going to return the every first images of that specific product, because we do have the multiple images, so we don't want to return the multiple images. Just we can return the very first images of it, right? So save it, and still we are getting an issue over here. What is that? is paid is an incompatible. So in the columns, and in the types, okay, is paid is going to be a boolean, not a type. That's the reason we are running into this issue. Save it, and now we don't have this issue, right? So we have the order status and images. Okay, so that's because of the single issue we are not getting suggestions for any of these things. All right, so is paid, so please make sure is paid is going to be a boolean value, not a string value. That's the type issue. Okay, now we fix that. So now we don't have any issues over here. So let us open the client now. In the client, all we have to do is to change the sizes columns into orders columns, right? And instead of sizes client, I'm just going to duplicate this and I'm going to change this to orders client. Before changing all these things, I need to change it right away over here. So I'm just going to say orders client. Okay. All right then, so let's save all these changes over here. Save it, save it, save it. Fine, that's good. Okay, it's working now. So I don't need this headings and everything. All right, so let's keep this alone. Okay, so let's get into the columns now, because you can see here we're having only name, value, and date. So let's go ahead and bring all these necessary fields inside in it. So if you check it out over here, we have to filter it by the payment status, and we have to filter it by order status, and we have to bring the created date. So date wise also we have to bring it, but I forgot to do it over here. So let's go ahead and do that everything. So first, in this first sections we have to bring the image, right? So what I have to do is, so we have this billboard. Wait a moment. Okay, so inside this we have to bring the images and everything. So first let's bring the, except the images, let's bring everything else. So over here, so let's bring the products first. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring the products, copy this products, supply it over here, and I'm going to delete everything inside this header, and I'm going to keep it as the header alone, and this header is going to be the products, just the products alone. Then I'm just going to delete this as well as delete it, copy this. I'm going to paste it for phone, address, total price, and for the last one is going to be the payment status, and last before that is going to be for order status. So we are going to have it for the order status. Yep, so what is the order status and everything is going to be fine. That's good. Now let's change everything one after another. So first we bring the products, then we have to bring the phone, copy the phone, then we have to bring the addresses, bring the address, then we have to bring the total price, copy the total price, supply it for access key, and here it is going to be your amount. What is the amount it's going to be? And at the end it's going to be the status, either it is paid or not, is paid. Payment status, payment status. All right, now you should be able to see all these things, right? So, and date wise, okay, we have the date by created by orders and everything, id actions and everything. So let's fix this images first. Let's bring the images. So we can't add any other orders or anything, because you know that orders can be placed only from the client side, not through over here. So but anyways, we have to fix everything. So once the order is placed through the front end, it is immediately work over here. So that's the reason. But right now we can't check any output, and for this I don't need the add new item for this. Let me delete it, and heading is going to be orders, and Yep, save these changes. All right, so now what I have to do is, okay, fine, that's fine. So, all right, that's looking good. Everything is fine. Perfect. So let's bring the images inside. So what in order to do that, I'm going to create a cell image dot tsx. All right, that cell image, it's going to, of course, the cell image is going to be the client side. Use client. Then I'm just going to say sfc cell image, and div inside this, instead of this, I'm just going to bring a react fragment. Inside this react fragment, I'm going to bring the data.map. You can see it is going to have an interface cell image props, which is going to be a data, and that is going to be a string array. Then inside here, I'm going to say destructure the data from cell image props. Then here I'm just going to say data.map function, open it, and I'm going to get the URL and the index of that URL, and I'm going to open the div, and inside here I need to supply the index as the key, and the class name, of course, it is going to be overflow, it is going to be hidden, and width, of course, it is going to be 16, and height, of course, it is going to be 16. Then minimum height, of course, it is going to be 16, and minimum width is going to be width, it is going to be 32. So width should be 32. No, it should be a perfect square, right? So let's keep it as 16 itself, and aspect square, rounded MD, and everything should be in the center. Flex item center, justify everything in the center. Save these changes, and inside this division, now I have to bring the image which is coming from next image, and it is going to have the alternative as the image, and we are going to have a fill. Then we are going to have object contain. We need to see the complete image. Then the source, of course, it is going to be the URL. So this is going to be the cell. This is going to display the very first image of each and every product, and that is need to be displayed in the very first location over here. So which is going to be the images, and I'm just going to say this is as the images and cell. Okay, so right now what I have to do is I have to load this custom cell which we did for here. So I'm just going to create, and I'm going to get the row object. Oops. Okay, let's get the row object, and let's get the callback function over here and get the value of it. Okay, so now this is going to be a div class name, and flex item center, and gap, it's going to be 2, and if it is, yep, so here we just need to say cell image, which is coming from /cell image, and it's needed the data, which is going to be data is equals to row dot original dot images. We need to access the complete images, so we are passing the images string array over here, which is going to be rendered and displayed over here. If you wish to keep it as a string, since it is a width is going to be 16, so I think we can keep it as a grid. If you don't want to keep it as a flex box over here, I'm just going to keep it as a grid, and grid column, of course, I can make it as 2 different columns, something like that. Later we'll change this designs and everything, how exactly it's going to look, and we don't have to worry about it right now. Later we'll change everything over here, right? So now we did, and now we have to do the same customizations for the payment status is paid or everything. Later we'll do that everything over here. Okay, so now all we have to do is to don't worry about this, we just have to jump back to the client side and start working on the client side, and that's what we are going to do next. Right, before jumping into the client side, and over here in the settings page, when you're trying to delete this complete order, as I told you initially itself, because we have to delete the complete sub collections first, then only we can delete the complete collections, right? So in the API stores, route.stores over here, or inside the store ID, inside this route, so we added this delete function over here, right? See, we did have all, we need to delete all those sub collections and along with the data files inside this URLs, right? So we have to delete that complete stuff first. So let's go ahead and write the code to do that. So what I need to do, API, just give me a minute. One second. All right, so now what we have to do is, so we have to figure it out what are the things that we do have. We having the billboards, categories, designs, kitchens, sizes, and also we do have the orders also. So these are the different sub collections that we do have inside, right? So we have to delete everything one after another. So now what I have to do is, so first, let's go ahead and delete the billboards inside here. So what are the things that we need to do? We have to remove the billboards, then we have to remove the categories, then we have to remove the sizes, then we have to remove the kitchens, then we have to remove the cuisines, then we have to remove the products and its images. Of course, we need to do the same stuff for this billboards. And over here, just like the products, we have to delete the orders too, right? So once you deleted the store, what is the need of orders having it? Orders and its products images, all right? So the inside that we do have the order items. So now we can't say order items and its images. These are the things that we have to delete, right? So let's go ahead and start doing one after another, and then we can start moving on to the client side. So before jumping into the client side, we have to finish this.